Well, let me just ask you this. How many people have had their lives touched by cancer in one way, shape, or another? Just about everybody in this room. And you know that whether it's you or a loved one that has had to go through those three terrible words, you have cancer, and the effects thereafter, whether it be radiation or chemotherapy, that there are many, many, many residual effects even after you hear those wonderful words, you're in remission. And the Europeans especially have a wonderful way of using plant-based diets to kind of rid their bodies of those terrible effects. And that's what our next guest is going to talk about. I'm going to tell a little bit about her and where she got her start. Dominique Mays is currently the commercial director of the Parabolic Biologicals of Belgium, a spokesperson for the company. She has greatly extended the reach of the natural plant treatments developed by her father, Dr. Roland Mays. So she comes from a long line of doctors. Her brother also is joined in with the company in the European medical community. She addresses conventions, she addresses workshops. She knows pretty much how the Northern Europeans have kind of taken hold and excelled in this, while we as Americans haven't greatly embraced it yet. So today, she's going to teach us just how we can do that. So please welcome Dominique Mays.
I'm going to ask for you to apologize for my accent, and sometimes I'm going to be looking for words because it's not my first language. I speak normally French and Dutch, coming from Belgium. We're a double nationality country. I'm going to talk to you a bit about what we use in Europe. I'm first going to show you a little bit how cancer is developing in the world, especially in Europe and in the States. So I need my glasses. The epidemiology, a few facts. That is the American Cancer Society. 1 man in 2 will get cancer. 1 man in 3 will get cancer. That is what they are predicting for the future. 1 in 2 women will die, that die before the age of 65 will do it of cancer. So the predictions are not very good. This means that we have a grave problem. We have to change absolutely our lifestyles. Cancer is winning, we are losing. I'm not going to read everything, because that is, since 1989, cancer has been the second greatest problem in the US. It's the third one in Europe, but it's gaining too. There are going to be about 500,000 new deaths in the States only on cancer. In the US, 69% survive 5 years after the diagnosis of its illness. This is going to increase. We are not going to have more people being saved. We're going to have less people being saved. Cancer is getting more and more aggressive. This is a little bit just estimated cases in 2008. As you see, prostate cancer and breast cancer is what is affecting us the most. And I'm not going to read everything, and this is the death rate. So we can cure it pretty well, but the doctors are saying they're losing the battle little by little because people are not supporting the chemotherapy very well anymore. It's getting aggressive, the cancer is getting aggressive, and they have to use chemotherapy more and more aggressive too. This is just estimate breast cancer incidence in the world. You see that is the European world, the Western world who is suffering the most, but it's the poor countries who are going to die from it, much more than we are, because they cannot afford the medication that we can afford. Food and cancer is directly linked. You could see it on the map before. And the countries who are affected are the Eastern European countries. It's us who have eating processed food who have most cancer. So according to the International Medical Academy, if we follow a diet, we can reduce the chances by 60 to 70%. It's enormous. That shows how much influence food has on our health. By modifying your diet, you can actually reduce the chances of having cancer. Actually, by modifying your diet, you can even decrease more than just by stop smoking. Smoking is a big problem. The best you can do is do both. Stop smoking, change your diet. And it is very, very difficult because we live in a society where processed food is a huge market. The food that we are eating, that is the Coca-Cola, I'm not allowed to say names of companies, but all the sodas we are eating, they are destroying our immune system. Every time you drink a soda, you are contributing for the development of cancer. It's too much sugar. It destroys your intestinal flora. If you destroy your intestinal flora, you give way for the cancer to develop. Your immune system is down. The dietitians are saying that all the time, but they are fighting against a huge industry, or on the contrary saying, oh no, sodas are good for your health, children should drink it, they give them energy. It's not true. It destroys the immune system by destroying their intestinal flora. In the US, you have the greatest problem because your population is overweight. And hopefully in Belgium, in France, and in all over Europe, it's starting to. 68% of the population is overweight in the States, 30% in Europe, but the numbers are increasing fast. 30%, 34% suffer from obesity. It's enormous. That means 3 people out of 10 are overweight to the point that is dangerous for their health. They say cancer is linked to body fat. I think you also heard Dr. Vaughan talking about the fact that obesity destroys actually your brain cells, makes it not function enough. So obesity is a major problem for health. What did I do? Oh yeah, known or suspected risks. The big problem that we have in the Western world is that we consume too much milk. Milk is not done for adults. That's what you consume when you are a child. No other population than the Western population uses milk, or they use it in other forms like yogurt or cheeses. But hardly anybody you are not going to see Indian people drinking milk like that out of a bottle. They are going to change it in yogurt. And yogurt has a beneficial effect on the flora, intestinal flora, while milk is a product that completely clogs the whole system. It's fatty, it has lots of dioxin, pesticides, antibiotics, because you are giving that to the cows are eating the grass that contains pesticide. Do not think that it doesn't go into the milk, it goes straight into the milk. Other problems is the sugar sweets, as I told you. Everything that is sweetened is dangerous. Also the products that are called, I saw that lots of sweeteners. Sweeteners is the most, I would say idiotic thing, but that's not the right word. It's a very dangerous product because it gives your body the notion that it's going to get sugar. And it doesn't. It gets a sweetener, which is not a sugar. So what happens to your body? Next time you take something sweet, that it's from an apple, a pear, just a brownie, it's going to accumulate it. So instead of slimming down, you're going to get more fat by eating more sweeteners. Because the body is going to say, oh, I'm on a diet, I need to accumulate. So next time she puts me on the diet, I have enough reserves. And on top of it, they are generally carcinogenic, so they develop cancer. Cooking at high temperatures, I know Americans love barbecues. We love them too. Do it not too often. Don't do it every day. It's cooking the food at high temperature is actually very bad for the health. Prevention. There are easy ways to prevent actually cancer. Change your diet. Do not eat sweets. Do not eat white bread. Avoid it a maximum. Avoid sugars, sodas, things like that. Do eat flaxseed oil. Do eat fatty fish. That all contains omega-3. It's excellent for your health. Do consume green tea. Do not be careful about what type of antioxidants you consume. Not all of them have anti-cancer properties. Not every antioxidant. You need the ones who contain épigallocatechin 3-galate. Sorry, French accent. Those are the ones who have anti-tumor properties. So green tea is good. Try to drink at least 5 cups a day, or take caps. Resveratrol, that's the big thing in France. Red wine contains a lot of resveratrol. So they are saying, whoa, consume a lot of red wine, and hopefully it has a lot of alcohol, which is bad for the heart. So, but it's true that the French people have less breast cancer and less stomach cancer than other countries. But that doesn't mean that you have to drink like hell red wine. 1 glass per day, it's fine. And peanuts, Americans love peanuts. Go, eat it, it's very good for your health. And the thing is that it works, it acts on 3 levels of cancer. On the initiation, that means the starting of the development of cancer cell. The promotion, that means the cancer cells are going to reproduce themselves. And the progression, that means cancer is spreading. So those ingredients, resveratrol, green tea, are going to block the development of tumors. Iodine, we're talking a lot about that in Europe because we had Chernobyl 20 years ago, and the incidence of thyroid cancer has gone sky high in the regions where it has been affected. In Alsace, where my parents are living, 35% more cancer patients with thyroid since the cloud has passed. What they are doing, what the Germans did, which was smart, they gave iodine pills. The French, they stopped the cloud at the frontier and said it's not going to pass through. Which means that the Germans have very little problem with thyroid, while the French have a lot. And also, ginkgo biloba, a plant that I think past a certain age you should take at least 1 caps every day. It's an antifibrosis, it protects against cancer. It's the only tree who survived Hiroshima. So it means something. And it's also good for the memory. Pollen, that is preventive of metastase. It's also an ingredient, it's not plant, but it comes from the bees. But it has a prebiotic and probiotic effect, and that protects your intestines. That helps balance the intestinal flora. And I will not stress enough, intestinal flora is extremely important for your immune system. If it's in a bad shape because you have overdeveloped Candida albicans, which is an illness that is spreading in the States like mad, nobody talks about it. It's something you have naturally in your body, but once you eat too much sugar, it feeds on sugar and it develops itself at an extremely high rate. It destroys your intestines. That's what you can call the leaky bowel syndrome. It comes mainly from that is spreading. And also, most of the depressions people have comes from the fact that the intestines are not working properly. And that is, I think you have Dr. Sergeant Schreiber, who wrote about it. You have to take care of the intestines. Always, always, always. It's actually anything you eat is going to influence you. It's going to influence your health. Ginkgo biloba, I told you about it. It's an antioxidant, cell regulation, is an antifibrosis. Its action works through RNAs. I'm now going to talk about the chemotherapy. That was just a short introduction about how food is important for us and how cancer is spreading. Chemotherapy, I suppose everybody knows what it is, and hopefully, that is strong chemicals we are going to use to kill the cancer cells. The problem is that while killing the cancer cells, is going to also destroy our whole body. And that's why people have extreme reactions to it. It destroys the immune system. By destroying the immune system, you're going to develop infections. It's very tiring. You suffer from anemia because it destroys the red blood cells. It destroys all the blood platelets. It's going to create hair loss, which and hopefully there's not much to be done about it. It creates gastrointestinal distress, so that is the problem. It destroys the intestinal flora, so you're going to vomit, you're going to be having diarrhea, constipation. Some people, generally they develop diarrhea, but some people develop constipation. And all that tires the body enormously, tremendously. And what happens is that people at one point have to stop chemotherapy because they cannot support it anymore. And while they stop it, of course, the effect of the chemotherapy decreases. So the interest for them is that they keep on doing it until the end of the treatment. There are also adverse effects that the doctors are discovering more and more. Because of that, we have been using it for quite a long time for now. They have heart damage, liver damage, kidney damage, damage to the inner ear, that sometimes you see people walking around and they look drunk. No, they are not drunk, they have a problem with the inner ear. That's been affected by chemotherapy. Brain dysfunction, they forget things, they lose their memories. All those things are side effects from the chemotherapy, but we all can help, all of them. For the immune system, we have a plant that has been used now for 15 years, 18 years actually in Europe, Aspidosperma subincanum. It's a plant that comes from Brazil. It increased the immune system drastically. It's an antiviral. We use it also for AIDS patients. It has a direct action on the nitric oxide synthesis. It's an anti-infectious too. This is the basic product that we're going to give to any patient undergoing chemotherapy and radiotherapy, or any patient having cancer that cannot be treated. This is what we're going to give. This is really the basic product that all the physicians in Belgium just give. Standard. The physicians, of course, works with natural products. We're not everybody, but we're getting there. After 15 years, they are getting more and more used to it. Echinacea purpurea, that is the normal Echinacea. We generally give that version to people who have undergoing very light chemotherapy. But for heavy chemotherapy, Aspidosperma subincanum. It also passes the encephalographic barrier, the barrier from the brain. So that is also important for all people having brain cancer. It works on small cell cancer, so it's important for people having lung cancer, liver cancer. It also works on hormonal cancer, breast cancer, a little bit less well. But it increases the immune system, it helps people support chemotherapy. The other product that I like personally a lot is Citrus aurantium, because combined with the Aspidosperma subincanum, they work in synergy. And they work very well with all hormonal treatments, but not when you are taking products that suppresses the hormonal balance. You have, I don't know the name in the States, but we call it Novadex in Belgium. That is a product that suppresses the female hormone. While you take that, you cannot take Citrus aurantium because it's going to have a counter effect. But we also give it to all people having liver cancer because it has a positive effect on liver. We also give it to people having hepatitis. And it is an anti-infectious, which is very important because chemotherapy does develop infections within the body. You don't see it, but you get high temperature because it creates infections. A simple product that is flaxseed oil, use it every day. Just take it. It's such a basic product. It's good for the brain, it's good for the skin, it's good for the immune system, it's good against depressions, and for women over a certain age, it's good for hot flashes. I always say flushes, but they don't agree with me. Okay, for tiredness and exhaustion, that is something you know in the States. Panax ginseng. But ginseng has one particularity. It's an adaptogen. You're going to go use it for 3 weeks, stop for a week, use it again 3 weeks, and stop. Do not use it continuously. It will have a reverse effect. So ginseng is a product that we have been using much too much. You will never see a Chinese using it for 6 months. No way. He knows that you get a reverse effect on one point. It is an adaptogen. It's going to tell your body, you're going to tell your body, I am not feeling well. You're going to take ginseng. He says, okay, I'm going to rebalance your body so you can cope with stress, physical and mental stress. Once your body is balanced, you have to stop. Because then if you keep on taking it, you say, oh, the balance is still not good, and it's going to unbalance against your body. Wow. I always find it more product that more manly than for females. I prefer grape mark for women because it's a product that also helps with cellulitis and heavy legs, and it gives a little bit of tonicum, and it's also good for people who smoke a little bit. Blood platelets, that is one of the big problems also in chemotherapy. The blood platelets fall and they have to stop treatment. This is a product that very few companies do. It's based on ribonucleic acid. It's an extract from yeast. There's no yeast left in it anymore. It's really an extraction. And it increases the blood platelets, and it decreases the blood platelets 20 seconds after you've taken it. And it's one of the most effective products on the market actually to increase blood platelets without secondary effects. Because the chemical products that increase blood platelets have terrible secondary effects. And that one doesn't. And that is clinically proven. Mycotherapy, that is a therapy from the mushroom, shiitake, all those mushrooms, take them, they increase the immune system. And they increase the white blood cells, which is quite difficult. Red blood cells also, very difficult to increase. And hopefully the only way we can is chemical products or eating red meat. We haven't found really one plant that increases it drastically as we would like to. But we're looking for it. Gastrointestinal distress, that is very important. You have to take care of your intestinal flora. So, as I said, pollen. You take pollen, even if you don't like it. I hate it. I dislike it profoundly, but I can tell you, if I have stomach problems, I just take it. Because it's one of the major product that is going to fight Candida albicans. Pre and probiotics, but you have that in the States, I believe, too. And probiotics, yeah. Very important to take during chemotherapy. Just do it. 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. It's going to re-equilibrate your intestinal flora. Cardiotoxicity, that's heart damage. That's what you're going to get, not during the chemotherapy immediately. That's what you're going to develop afterwards. There are products for it, and a product that you know very well in the States is Q10, CoQ10. It's an excellent product for the heart. Start using it the moment you stop with the chemotherapy, because before that you'll have already aspidosperma, you have bitter orange, you have the ginkgo, you have the RNO, you have enough products to take. Don't try to take everything also at the same time. First, your budget will explode, and secondly, you'll be so demoralized by taking so many products. And morale is extremely important too when you're undergoing chemotherapy and radiotherapy. So do not underestimate the power, the willpower of getting better. For hepatotoxic, for the liver. Desmodium ascendens, that's a plant that comes from Africa. We discovered it, actually I didn't discover it, there is Dr. Tuberi who discovered it by seeing that the Africans were using it for hepatitis. And then we tested it with him, and the plant has one particularity. It regenerates the liver and cleans it at the same time. Actually, to my knowledge, no other plant has the same capacity. Or they cleans the liver and tires the liver, so your immune system goes down. And this one cleans the liver and regenerates the liver, so your immune system goes up. When you undergo chemotherapy or radiotherapy, you do have to be careful not to decrease your immune system. That is what is going to make you support the chemotherapy. That's what's going to make you help get better. I'm going to say at the end something that nobody is going to like, but that's for the end. Chrysanthellum americanum, that's against kidney stones. That is also one of the effects that you have on chemotherapy. You're getting, not everybody hopefully, but mostly elderly people do get kidney stones from chemotherapy. They also get urinary infections. And you have a fantastic product in the States that I absolutely love, cranberry. That you take it in pills, or that you drink the juice of it. It's going to help destroy all the infections, urinary infections. Use it, because that you're going to develop anyway. For ototoxicity, that is the damage of the inner ear I was talking about earlier. That is something that is not going to happen immediately. That's going to happen little by little. That can happen years later. You have also a good plant that is growing in the States and in Europe. That is the lesser periwinkle. I saw it in the gardens here in Greensboro. It's against arteriosclerosis, vascular insufficiency, heart problems. It just increases the blood flow and repairs the little veins, varicose. So you're not going to use it immediately, but a year after chemotherapy, start using it, because that's when it's going to develop the problems, mainly for elderly people or people who are sitting all the time, who don't have a lot of physical activities. They have a tendency of developing that. Brain dysfunction, that and hopefully can happen at any age. I have customers who are 16 years old and who cannot concentrate anymore. And I've given them ginkgo biloba, and I have given them flaxseed oil and lesser periwinkle, and they're getting back there. They're going back to school, so I'm quite happy about it. Because the parents were desperate. I mean, nobody wants a child of 16 years old who has undergone chemotherapy because he has leukemia, that he'll be an idiot for the rest of his life. He was a bright kid before. They would like to get him back. And they were desperate, and the doctor said nothing to be done about it. But there are plants that can help. Can help concentration, can help increase the blood flow to the brains. So that's what we are using in Europe for the moment. And I'm sure that the more we are learning about plants, the more there'll be other plants that will appear. If the FDA doesn't shut us down, if the European Commission doesn't shut us down. And there are lots of plants coming from India and China, and they are trying to block everything for the moment. Oxidation, that is a very important matter. The chemotherapy is going to oxidate your cells. Once it's finished, you have to restore all those cells. So you have to use huge amount of antioxidants and use it for 6 months at least. And for the best antioxidants for chemotherapy, I don't say for general purpose, the best for chemotherapy is green tea, because it contains epigallocatechin trigalate, which is proven to be anti-tumor, which is proven to be antioxidant, which is proven to be cell-regenerating. And all those things I'm telling you, you can look on Medline, you just type the name of the plant, you type cancer, and you find it. Rosemary helps also. Rosemary has the particularity of creating again the connection between the synapses. So that's been quite a few studies done on it. Oh, what did I do? He doesn't want to. I think that was it anyway. That was it. And I also wanted to say, cancer, you're in remission. You are never cured. So do not think that once you had cancer, you're in remission, that you're out of it. Always, always be careful. Follow a diet. I don't say, don't drink a glass of wine, don't eat a piece of chocolate. I say, do it, enjoy life, but eat fruits, eat vegetables, try to avoid processed food, take care of yourself. The other thing I wanted to say is I'm very happy to have been here, and if there is any questions, please, you feel free.